In this video, you're gonna learn everything you need to know about women. Normally, I would start with defining what is a woman, but apparently Matt Walsh has already tried to answer this, and the only responses were death threats. So obviously, this means the correct answer is an adult female human. As I was researching for this video, I quickly realized two things. One, I don't know anything about women, but when I apply the rules of politics, I learned this actually makes me an expert. In order to understand the kinds of women, I turn to the father of biology, Charles Darwin, and his book, The Origin of Species. If you read it in reverse, you find that it actually contains the following cryptic information. Every woman starts off as a girl, but the type of woman they become depends on what kind of training and materials they acquire during their lifetime, the majority of which follow this first evolution pathway. When a girl has a relatively average life with mostly healthy relationships, she will take on hobbies and receive awards for her effort. She will of course evolve into a girl's girl, which is a younger woman who is secure in herself and will help out other women in her life. Let's see an example.
Oh my God, is that Chris Hemsworth? I need to ask him for a picture.
Wait before you go. You have something in your teeth.
Thanks for telling me, you're the best.
Through repeated friendships and hard work, she'll often be equally, if not more, successful than her male colleagues. After so many experience points, she will reach the level needed to evolve into a lady. A lady is a woman who is often well-spoken, polite but assertive, and intelligent. But what happens if instead of positive relationships, she instead was never told no and allowed to get anything she wants? A girl would instead evolve into a princess. In this form, she drives expensive white cars and has pink accessories. She never seems to understand why everyone loves to hang out with her, but just never alone. When you tell her no, her special power is to cry on demand, which is a form of hypnosis before she attacks, using her acrylic nails and mean tweets. When a princess receives a 2-carat stone, she briefly evolves into a bridezilla, which of course is a combination of bride and Godzilla. The bridezilla has an attack power of 1,000, but a weakness of self-control, which will slowly push away anyone that's still by her side. After an expensive fusion ritual, the bridezilla evolves into the final form of a Karen, where she will eventually be forced to learn self-control until something triggers her. Luckily, this form is rare despite what social media tells us, but can be summoned by saying the following phrases. Now, there is an intermediate pathway between these two extremes. When a girl has a normal life but encounters a princess, she can be sucked into her vortex. Some of the signs include partaking in all social media trends to avoid being ostracized by the princess. If she fails to escape this black hole before she encounters a healing crystal, then she becomes a basic. This is the female equivalent of a guy that you can't tell apart because they're all the same. They continue to follow all trends on social media despite the blow to their mental health. A basic can become a lady if she's able to break this cycle, but if she fails, she will evolve into one of the following based on the trend she was doing at age 29. However, if a basic marries someone successful, she becomes a trad wife, which just means she posts videos all day. Trad wives are often unified by their belief that having a job is pretty whack. Now, biologists still debate these but often hit a limit, as Charles Darwin is dead. Now let's move on to questions that can help you in day-to-day life. Question 1. How do I talk to a woman? There are 4 basic principles you should follow to successfully talk to a woman, which involve choosing the right setting, being genuine, asking questions, and don't neg. Asking questions shows that you're actually curious based on the context of the conversation. For example, you're in a coffee shop and the girl next to you is taking a sip of her coffee and has The Shining on her table. The setting is good, so you choose to ask a question. So far, do you like the book or the movie more? This is a genuine and curious question, because The Shining was a great movie, and there are mixed feelings on if the movie did it justice and what creative freedom they took with the book. This is a good way to start the conversation. Now let's see another example. Wow, you're attractive. Who would have thought you could read? This is called negging, where the flawed logic is to subtly put her down so she seeks your approval. You probably learned this in Crazy Stupid Love or Andrew Tate. This doesn't work because you're not Ryan Gosling and Andrew Tate is a fictional character. Question 2. What kind of male physique do women like? There is no clear answer as this changes every few decades. The current ideal physique looks like Christian Bale in The Machinist. This is appropriately named heroin chic. This may come as a shock to most men because Hollywood tells us these are the guys that get all the girls. But in reality, the only group that really likes these super muscular men are other men. Question 3. How do women communicate differently than men? As a general rule of thumb, men and women have different goals when communicating. Men communicate to transfer information, while women communicate to build connection. Let's look closely how each respond to "How are you?" Hey, how are you? Fine, and you? Same. So what's new?
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear.
If you didn't catch the subtle nuance, let's watch it again with X-ray vision.
Hey, how are you? I'm fine. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear.
Question 4. How to respond when your girlfriend is venting. This answer is anything but intuitive to most guys, so I'll start with what not to do. Number 1. Don't try to solve the problem. When your girlfriend tells you that she's upset after getting her 3rd speeding ticket this year, you may instinctively see this as a biconditional logic and set theory math problem, where you have an if-then statement that are related by causality. So you respond, "You should probably stop speeding." While true, this is the wrong response. What she is actually communicating is the emotional state or feelings after being in the situation. So the proper response is to validate the emotion. The best way to do this is by imagining yourself in that same situation. So you could respond, "That really sucks, that cop is a jerk." Finally, and I cannot emphasize this enough, stop while you're ahead. Number 5. Why do women tell long stories? To understand this answer, you'll need to know one thing about economics and 2 things about biology. Number 1. Low supply plus high demand equals high competition. Number 2. You succeed in biology by passing on your DNA to the next generation. Number 3. Procreating or creating a baby is a very taxing process that requires a lot of time and energy. Because of this, females choose their mates based on the best chances of survival and effectively control the population. Now let's go back to 38,000 BC, where cavemen roamed the earth. During this time, they only had 2 goals: survival and spreading their seed. During the courtship process, he noticed an issue. Each time she talked, she shared what sounded like the pitch to a Christopher Nolan film. He was stuck in what we call the caveman dilemma. On one hand, if he interrupted her story, he could be rejected, aka tripping at the finish line. On the other hand, he could say nothing and ensure his genes were passed on. The caveman's dilemma was later renamed as Between a Rock and a Hard Place due to its wide applications in life. As time went on, cavemen shared this information, but as a result, unintentionally set themselves up to listen to longer and longer stories. So to answer this question, because of cavemen. And finally, the question I know you were waiting for. How do you please a woman? This is actually a question for you watching because I can't seem to figure it out. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone you think will also enjoy it, and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you.